It's a great pleasure to be part of this opening session of the Gaza People's Tribunal. And as Professor Falk said, it's a special honor to be hosted by the International University of Sarajevo in those momentous surroundings. When it comes to human rights, to human suffering, and to the resilience of the human spirit, the city of Sarajevo has a special place in the global conscience. There are some cities in the world history whose very mention elicits instant recognition of unforgivable atrocities on civilians that have taken place within our living memory. In the 1930s, this was Guernica and Nanking. During the Second World War, we think of Dresden, Coventry, and Hiroshima, among many others. In the 1980s, it would have been Beirut. In the 1990s, Srebrenica and Kigali. And today it is surely Gaza, Rafah, Khan Yunis, Jabalia. As a special rapporteur for human rights in Palestine between 2016 and 2022, I often wrote in my reports to the United Nations about the comprehensive Israeli air, sea, and land blockade that drove the Strip into extreme poverty through the 20-teens and the 2020s. Israel allowed just enough goods, fuel, and medical supplies into Gaza to allow it to be minimally functional for the 2 million Palestinians who live there, but not enough to allow it to thrive or to become prosperous. There was no other place on the planet where a contemporary state had imposed a medieval siege on such a significant population, controlling completely everything and everybody who entered or left. It even controlled the population registry. Under the Israeli siege, Gaza had become an open-air prison, and it has now become, over the past 19 months, an open-air cemetery. People often ask me, how is it that this genocide, broadcast and live-streamed around the world, could go on for 19 months and counting, with no decisive action being taken by the international community, and particularly by the global north? And I think back and realize that the same question could have been asked about the decades before October 2023, that Gaza was placed in an economic straitjacket, known to the world, and yet nothing meaningful was done. If you'll permit me a small indulgence before I lay out today's program, I want to read a short quote from the eminent British philosopher and social justice activist Bernard Russell, who died in February 1970. 2 days before his death, he issued a short declaration on Palestine, which was his last public message. His astute observation, I think, resonates even louder today, 55 years later. He said, "After every stage in this expansion, Israel has appealed to reason and has suggested negotiations. This is the traditional role of the imperial power because it wishes to consolidate with the least difficulty what it has already taken by violence. Every new conquest becomes the new basis for the proposed negotiation from strength, which ignores the injustice of the previous aggression. The aggression committed by Israel must be condemned, not only because no state has the right to annex foreign territory, but because every expansion is an experiment to discover how much more aggression the world will tolerate." Today, during the first day of the Gaza Tribunal, we are spotlighting the work of Chamber 1, which is focused on the role of international law in defining genocide and the protections that the law is designed to provide in times of conflict and atrocities. Today, we are hearing from both international law experts on the meaning of genocide and apartheid, and from Palestinians on the ground who are enduring the genocide and fighting back with their words. We have 3 panels today. The first panel, which will begin momentarily, will be on the Nakba and colonial genocide. We will have 2 eminent experts speak on this, one of them coming from abroad online. And then we'll have several witness testimonies read in English by Professor Akram and myself. After a break, we will then have panel 2, which is going to discuss patterns of genocide. And we will have two expert speakers, along with a series of both pre-recorded testimonies given by Palestinian prisoners as collected by the Palestinian Prisoners' Rights Group, Adamir. And then in the afternoon, our third and final panel will be on specific acts of genocide. And we will have 3 expert witnesses deliver then, as well as witness testimony from 2 emergency physicians who have served at hospitals in Gaza during the past 19 months. So I'm wondering now if we can start with panel number 1. I'm going to turn it over to my co-chair, Professor Susan Akram.
I want to also add my welcome and thank you to those of you who are here and those who are joining us online. It's going to be rather a long day, so please do take breaks, and especially hearing some of the powerful and disturbing testimonies that you're going to hear. We, of course, make no apologies for them, but do take breaks as you need it. Let me introduce now, without further ado, Professor Nimr Sultani, who's Reader of Public Law at the School of Law at the University of London School of Oriental and African Studies. He holds a Master's of Law degree from both Tel Aviv University and the University of Virginia, and a doctorate in law from Harvard Law School. Before becoming an academic, he practiced human rights law in Israel, Palestine, and worked with the Arab Center for Applied Social Research in Haifa. Professor Sultani is the editor-in-chief of the Palestine Yearbook of International Law, a very important publication for all of us interested in Palestine, and the author of Law and Revolution, Legitimacy and Constitutionalism After the Arab Spring. Please welcome Nimr Sultani.